Hi, Shubha. Hello. Dr. Vrushali, are you there? Dr. Vishkala ma'am. Preeti, can you stop the screen share? Yeah. Hello, good evening and a very warm welcome to one and all present here today. Today we are going to have the 34th webinar, which is on to the autoimmune dermatological diseases by none other than Dr. Vrushali Saraswat. Okay, so I'm going to welcome Dr. Vishpala ma'am for 2 minutes to introduce and tell her, tell something about the NJH and the webinar. Share her words. We cannot start the webinar without she starting at least even for 2 minutes, giving her blessings to us. That's all. After that, I'll introduce Dr. Vrushali. Yes, Dr. Vishpala ma'am, welcome Vishpala ma'am.
Thank you, Shobha. Thank you so much. What I love best about Engage webinar is everybody is so happy and everybody is so beautiful and beautifully dressed, which is what I love really. Because when we are like that, then we give out much more good vibes to everyone and we take in much more than we would. Today we have two of our most exciting members of our Engage team, Dr. Vrushali and Dr. Shobha, both looking lovely in these days of rains. But and we have a wonderful topic, and we are going to have a great evening. So Engage is very happy to welcome all of you exactly on time, most of you, and we hope that you'll do very well. And I hope you're all the time with NJH with in all our activities, including the journal, including the webinars, including the round table, the Telegram group, the newsletter, and the website. Everything. There are many things which NJH does all the time, and there's no free time. So I'm greatly looking forward to Vrushali's webinar today, and she's one of our best, most vocal and most dynamic members of our team, and so is Dr. Shobha, who will support her ably. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shobha. Please carry on.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your kind words. Ma'am, we always get to learn something about the, life lessons, some lessons we always get to learn even from your 2 minutes talk. And it is really very happy and nice to listen to you. Always. We get something, we enrich ourselves. It's so nice. Thank
Vishwala
you
not
so much.
seen. Why is Vishwala not seen? Praveen said. Why can't I be seen, Shobha? Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Praveen, can you see me now?
Yes, I think he must be able to see you now. Yes, ma'am. Okay, and where is Dr. Vrushali, our speaker of the day?
She is hiding. Thank you, Rama.
Yeah, they can all see you. What about Dr. Vrushali? Yes, Preeti, can you help us see Dr. Vrushali
Dr.
also?
Vrushali has logged out, I think, so I'm checking.
Okay, maybe her internet issue is there. Yeah, so yes, till she logs in, everyone knows about the NJH. Dr. Vishpala ma'am has already given in a very brief. Still, till Dr. Vrushali logs in and joins us, I get an opportunity to talk about NJH. So NJH is a national journal of homeopathy, the journal which is one in its kind, which is published regularly. There are so many journals that I have come across in the world of homeopathy. Ma'am, you are not, you're on mute.
On the dot of 18th, every 18th it is posted.
Yes,
So people should know
yes,
like clockwork whether they get it or not.
yes. And there are, ma'am, so many journals which has already started, and they've closed down. They could not sustain and could not continue for a longer time. So it is only, with the blessings and because the journal is in the able guidance of Dr. Vishpala ma'am, who is really our strong editora, who is, the backbone of homeopathy. We also have the blessings of others like Dr. Asrani sir, Dr. Bhaskar Bhatt sir, Dr. Chimthanwala, Dr. Praveen sir, Dr. Ajit Kulkarni sir. And with all the blessings of all this, we are able to do our work very regularly and publish the journal very regularly, like which is something very commendable. Okay, so Dr. Vrushali is here with us, and I would take an opportunity to introduce our youngest, not youngest, but yeah, very young and dynamic speaker, and she's a very good orator. Her thing is like you all must be knowing she needs a very little introduction. As you all are seeing, she is single-handedly moderating all the roundtables of NTH till now and doing it very well. Not only that, she is practicing since 19 years and she's an excellent speaker national at the level of national and international levels. She has presented a lot of cases. She has spoken in a lot of seminars, presented papers, and she also has an experience in the counseling. See, what I like about her is the name of her clinic is a happiness homeopathy clinic. She it is she takes care not only about treating the patients, but also she has interest into the counseling, and she takes care of patients even at that level. And that is what we are going to learn today from her through her cases, because she has correlated a lot of psychosomatic correlations of the disease and into this in the patient. And we are going to learn homeopathy and the autoimmune skin diseases through the multiple cases of Dr. Vrushali Saraswat. Okay, so what other thing which I like about her is she always has a very big smile on her face, and every time like she talks to you, she generates a. Yes, ma'am, you're muted. You wanted to add something?
Smile now.
Sorry.
Where is the smile now, Vrushali?
She is frozen, I think, because of her internet. She'll she will be there in a few seconds. I think her internet seems little unstable. But otherwise, like because of her this her this ability of being a good orator and having a big smile, and she can do a lot of things in a very easy manner. Like she doesn't need to put a lot of efforts into it, and she does it very easily. She has also conducted more than 35 webinars in last 2 years. And she has been presented also with many awards. Just give me a minute. She is the recipient of International Inspirational Women Award 2021, Indian Health Professional Award 2020, COVID Warrior Award 2020, and Savitri Gaurav Purashkar in 2019. So that is how is our dynamic speaker, Dr. Vrushali Saraswat. I welcome Dr. Vrushali. I hope she's there. Are you there, Vrushali?
She's logged out again, so
Okay. So let's wait for her for a minute. So till that time, again about the NJH, friends, the journal is the first and foremost thing. It is the dream of Dr. Sarla Sunawala ma'am, when the mother of Dr. Vishpala Partharthi ma'am, and Dr. Vishpala Partharthi has taken it up, that to fulfill the dream of her mother. Her mother, Sarla Sunawala, was our teacher, and we remember her teaching Materia Medica so beautifully through stories, through actions, through her gestures. She used to make the learning of Materia Medica very lively and very, easy for us. Otherwise, it was when I remember when we were in the college in the first and second year of homeopathy, all the remedies, we would find the symptoms which are common in all the remedies, and would find it so difficult to remember which remedy has which symptoms and how to differentiate, how to understand that okay, this is the characteristic of it. But she would, make it, act it upon, she would describe it so vivaciously that we would remember that, yeah, whatever she has acted upon, whatever she has described, these are the characteristic symptoms, and we must remember them very well, and that would help us into the practice to prescribe. So that is what is about the journal. The journal is not based on any one particular stream of homeopathy. All the homeopaths are welcome to share their cases. We are the ones who are promoting homeopathy, not any one particular school. And we are open to learn from all the homeopathic schools of homeopathy. So that is what is about the NJH, which is running very regularly since 1992. Also, the other activities about the NJH which are there are about the lot of webinars that we are conducting regularly since our COVID times, that since we could not meet physically. Otherwise, Dr. Sarla Sonawala Memorial Seminar, which we are conducting once in a year, and we welcome you all on the behalf of the complete NJH team. We welcome you, that you are welcome. Now we will start it very soon, and then you should come and meet us personally. Okay, so that is what. Another is about the online newsletters that we get, where we are learning from the archives. We are able to read the current issues, but then there is a treasure which is lying in the archives of the NJH. And Dr. Lata and Dr. Rama Hariharan and Dr. Lata Devarajan, they are doing a great work, of making us learn from our archives and connecting us with the homeopathy through archives. So that is another activity of NJH. The Telegram group is another activity through where we are sharing the cases, and every Tuesday. Recently, there is a little bit of a break because of some website issues, but it is going to go back to its normal every Tuesday academic activities very soon. Okay, friends. So do become the life member of NJH. Do subscribe NJH, and do we welcome you all to the family of NJH. Okay. So now Dr. Vrushali is again back with us. So let us welcome
with a
Dr.
smile.
Vrushali.
With a smile.
Yeah, with her big smile, huh, Vrushali? Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, everyone. And,
yeah, welcome.
time and again, it is proven that I really love adventure, because suddenly, just dot at 6:55, my clinic internet goes off. So I have shifted to my husband's office. Fortunately, we are in the same building, so I'm able to um, come back and join you all. Thank you so much, Shobha.
Yeah.
It
So
was
Vrushali, the floor is yours, and just take it up and rock it out, and let everyone learn through your cases. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shobha.
Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am. With, you know, um, if I may say that learning from you how to take everything in your own stride, I would not apologize for this delay, but make it up for you all that you guys have waited for me. So I will see if my cases can add value to you. Thank you so much for waiting. Without discussing too much, I would directly start sharing my screen. Give me a moment. Yeah. All right. So, it's a huge topic, I would rather say autoimmune dermatological disorders. Why dermatological? Because, you know, any anything which happens on the skin affects the psyche to a great extent. It is always something of utmost importance to each and everybody. They might be suffering from a very big, major disease. Like I had a patient with multiple sclerosis, but she would come back every single time telling me that, doctor, do something about my this the pigmentation on her face. Skin is something which bothers everybody the most. And as a homeopath, in my 22 years of practice, what I have seen is you manage people's appearances and they will stay loyal to you. You just give them confidence that you can get good skin, you can have good hair, and you can have a good appearance, and they will always be loyal to you. They would vouch, they would give you credit. You might treat big diseases, but then skin is something which you must take care of. That is why I feel 30% of my practice is skin disorders, and very effectively, very easily you can see the difference. It's a visual thing. There is nothing called as pain has become better or it has not become better. Before and after pictures are definitely going to give you accolades in the moment. There are so many patients who will forget that they had some lesion somewhere, but then if you have taken before pictures, you show them after pictures and done. You don't have to convince, or you do not have to make them understand how the improvement has come. It's very visual. Now, autoimmune is something which I feel every homeopath's personal domain. Why? We will discuss as we discuss the cases. Okay, so there are a lot of diseases which are there as a homeopath, like, not as a homeopath, but as a disease entity per se. There are so many diseases. I'm not going to go into details of those diseases, but rather I would discuss those diseases which are useful for a homeopath, what you can see commonly in your practice, and you must be equipped with the disease diagnosis, symptomatology, typical as well as atypical pictures of these diseases. A lot of times you will be surprised that there are atypical presentations which come to your clinic, and if you catch that before the dermatologist, you have won the entire patient family. And like this, you can go on building your practice. So the commonest autoimmune diseases which are seen day in day out by every homeopath is lichen planus, atopic dermatitis, pemphigus, psoriasis, urticaria. Mind you, urticaria, 40% of cases are autoimmune, and rest of them are allergic or any other insect bite or things like that. So if you manage urticaria well, why I'm bringing focus to urticaria. My first case is only urticaria, and why I'm emphasizing on that, I'll discuss it in the case. But your handling of urticaria will change the moment you classify it as autoimmune disorder, because you will not take it seriously unless and until you classify it as autoimmune disorder. You might think that you can just give urticurans, or you can give apis, and in the moment the patient will get better. But no, somebody who is having chronic urticaria might have autoimmune disorder underlying, so the conflict would be even bigger and a difficult one. You must go and address the psycho social issue of that particular person, the conflict of the person. Unless and until you handle that, urticaria will not be treated. Then there is a very rare disease. I'm sharing a case of that. That's why I've put it dermatitis herpetiformis. A lot of times it is confused with fungal infection, with urticaria, with just herpetic rashes or things like that. But the management is really simple and easy. I'll share it in my case. Okay, so directly jumping to the case. So this is a case of urticaria. I had treated this patient in 2014. I've shared this case previously in some of the webinars, but today the perspective which I'm going to share is completely psychodynamics, how it is important for prescription point of view. So in 2014, the patient had come to me. He was 24 years old at that point of time, and he had history of chronic urticaria since the age of 6 years. Every day evening he would have those big blebs and hives and all. And he was treated by many doctors, a lot many MDs all over Mumbai. They've been taking the child to the different physicians, various dermatologists, and they've tried Ayurveda, Unani, they've tried Reiki, pranic healing, and they have visited many homeopaths in the past. And Mumbai being the hub of homeopathy, you can imagine they were, anytime patient comes with a chronic illness, they're dropping names that, we've been to this homeopath, that homeopath, as if they're trying to tell you that this is a very difficult case, see if you can do anything. So there was no relief even after from 6 years of age till 24 years of age. This person has been suffering with same illness. Sometimes the frequency used to reduce with steroids, but most of the times it used to be continuously repetitive hives he would get. At that point of time, I had given him some constitutional, according to my then understanding of, say, natrum muriaticum or something like that. And I had given him Artica urens as a stock remedy. Whenever he has any complaints, he could take that. After 3-4 months of treatment, his attacks reduced. And as it generally happens that when the intensity of the symptoms goes down, the patient stops coming. So he had stopped coming. In 2016, January, he came back to me because his hives had started, urticaria had started with the same or probably more vigor this time. The causative factor at that point of time was having protein X. He had suddenly felt the need to go to gym. And the first thing when young boys go to gym is they're asked to increase their protein intake. Yeah. So he started protein X, and full blown urticaria came back. Like he had full hands, back filled with big blebs and hives, and they were ameliorated while he was sleeping at night. Mornings used to be better, but most of the times he would by evening his hives would start again. So when I asked him about to share about himself, he said, "I've told you everything in short. That is what I have. I don't have anything more to tell you." Yeah. And then he said, "It's it the blebs." Then he started describing how his lesions are coming up. So he said it will start suddenly, it will become too thick, and itching is uncontrollable, with swellings of fingers and legs. So there was proper swelling. Sometimes he used to get swelling of the mouth too. Eyes, there was itching, uncontrollable itching. So this time his discomfort was mostly with respect to itching, that he has to scratch when he is outside in public. He took Artica urens on his own couple of times, but it did not help him. Whenever there is too much heat, he's having urticaria. Even when the atmosphere is cold, then also body heats up and he has urticaria. If he sits under water for a longer time, then it reduces. And most of the times he wants to be in the shower, but then now he's working. He cannot be under the shower. He cannot remain inside the bathroom for a longer time. The itching is uncontrollable. Whenever he scratches, the moment he scratches, the bleb starts coming up. I asked him, "What are you feeling when you're having this illness? What are you feeling?" He says, "Body weak ho jata hai. I'm feeling weakness in my body with itching. I'm scared. If I eat something in the office, what will happen? What if it comes on my face?" The itching is making my body weak. Every day by day, it is becoming weak. So then he says, when body heat increases, there is a lot of restlessness in my mind, because I know then hives are coming. Then wherever I am, I want to come back home and I want to sit under the shower. But then that is not possible every now and then. He's taken up a proper job and he's into an IT firm, and he has to travel a lot. Like his office is in Vikhroli and he lives in Mira Road. So the amount of travel will also give him lot of humidity. Because of Bombay humidity, he will become, the body heat will increase and the hives will increase. By the time he reaches home, it is all a full blown urticaria. So then there is a lot of restlessness. He says, my skin is swelling, and I know that body weakness is coming. I cannot think anything. Mind is totally scattered at that time. And that word just, kind of hit me. That mind is totally scattered. I can't focus on anything. I again asked him, what is it? She said, yeah, I'm feeling very scattered. So then I asked him, I allowed him to speak further. I didn't ask him at that point of time, but I noted it. Mind is totally scattered. So if I'm doing something, I start to think, when will I go home? I have to hide it. I don't want others to see it. What if other people will see? They will think he's not normal. No one should see this. So that there was this immense urge to hide his illness. And he had to all the time keep it under wraps. He do not want, he would wear full sleeves, full pants, even if they are going for offsite or anything like that, he would never ever wear shorts. Yeah, he wanted to keep it covered all the time. He didn't want anyone to see what illness he's having. Then he says, I'm happy that the disease is only on thighs, buttocks, arms, and places where I can cover up. If it comes on face or lips, I'm done. Once it had happened that they were outside and his colleagues saw, and they kept asking him about what allergy it is. And it was just out of curiosity that people were asking. But he felt very, very embarrassed about the illness. And then he said he wanted to have treatment for this now. So then I asked him, what happens? What do you feel inside when you have this illness? So see, he says, I feel irritated. I don't like anyone talking to me. I snap at people loudly. I do not want to interact with them. It's impacting my daily routine. I can't concentrate anywhere. All my mood is affected. And if I get allergy, when I reach office, then it's not there. But when I start working, then it slowly starts building up. And then I can't concentrate in the work. If some errors happen, then what will I do? I will not have work also. So as soon as I come home, that anxiety builds up, and then the urticaria is too much. Then I asked him, what is happening in general in life? Tell me about your new job and all. So routine work, it is just same. I feel bad. I don't like it. Most of the days, my life is just going like that. It doesn't feel good. There are a lot of sadness in it, but my mind, I feel my time is lost. I'm not giving my focus on anything. I'm working very hard. My most of the time goes in the office and working 7 days a week. Actually, confidence level is increased after taking treatment from you, because at that point of time I had given him some words of wisdom, some triggers which helped him. So he started talking in the office now, but still it is not up to the mark. Then when I asked him, when I tell you the word scattered, what comes to your mind? So he says, bikhar jata hai. With this action, bikhar jata hai. Everything is different. You're thinking something else and doing something else. Then I asked him, if there's a kid 3-year-old, how would you explain scattered to him? So then he says, kid is playing toys. It's all scattered around him. He can't keep it together. He's struggling to keep everything together. He wants to, but he fails to keep it together. And I don't know whether this is how the child wants to keep it together or not. So, how beautifully he explained his own internal feeling about his life. That whether he wants to keep it together or not, he's trying very hard to keep it together. He doesn't know whether he wants to keep it together or not. There was this small hidden fears is the psychodynamics of urticaria. And out of those small fears, a mountain is created out of a molehill. That is the kind of psych this patient had. Actually, he's the youngest child of the family. The older one is a super performer, effortless performer, you should say. Very genius. He is also my patient. And I've seen the difference between both the boys. The elder one is extrovert and it everything comes naturally to him. And the younger one has to struggle very, very hard. And he felt inferior all the time and he couldn't put it together. So that was the seed. That was the start of the illness, wherein he saw his elder brother performing and doing things very, very well, and him not being able to do it. Yeah. So there were a lot of rubrics which were taken. If you guys want it, I can I can share it in the Telegram in the due course. But I want to share more number of cases, so I'm just going to fly through these rubrics. There was only one remedy which had covered so many rubrics. Yeah, there was one typical rubric which I have taken: mind delirium urticaria in. He feels like he's losing his mind, right? He feels it's all scattered. He can't concentrate. There's only one remedy which is covering that, which is copaiba, and which gave me a confirmation of the remedy. Then I had put it in the reference word: scattered in the same remedy as itching, in the same remedy as eruptions, in the same remedy as irritability within 3 words of urticaria. There were only 3 remedies: argentum nitricum, bovinum, and copaiba. So there was no chance of thinking of other remedies. Copaiba was the choice of the remedy. I'll not, it's leguminosa, wherein the seeds are kept in a pod. And if the plants want to regenerate themselves, they have to open up. So, they have to scatter across and then only it will open up. So, leguminosa, it's a beautiful family. Lot of good remedies are there. Copaiba comes in the psychosis of psychotic miasm, wherein, there were so many rubrics, so many symptoms of copaiba which were covered by this, in this case particularly, wherein the patient is emotional, unconquerable dislike for his usual employment. That's the first thing Allen's encyclopedia states in mind section. So you can imagine how beautiful the similarity. What was the chance of treating? Very good, isn't it? Hives with fever, constipation. This patient had constipation right from childhood. So very beautifully from all the angles, when it was matching, I wanted to give 1M, but because he had come into a very severe aggravated state, so I wanted to build the immunity, and then slowly I gave him 30 first day, second day 200, and third day I gave him 1M, and weekly remedy was repeated, and 90% resolution happened in the first dose itself. There was no itching, no blebs. Mind also feels energetic. The despair had reduced and he started feeling better. There was acidity had reduced, motions were better. So lot of good things were happening with him. Eventually, he married one of his colleagues only, and he became very, very confident. He started giving good presentations and all. Interesting part is his daughter, after 3 years, when she came for treatment with urticaria, again the remedy given to her was copaiba. So we will sum up the conflict from this case at the last. Okay. Now going to the second case, a very different case. This was a meek, shy, gentle lady of 34 years. She presented with palmoplantar psoriasis, cracked palms, bleeding, painful. She's a housewife. Husband is a corrupt police officer. I have shared this case also previously. The police officer had a lot of extra income, and she's openly coming and telling me that, he has extra income like this. And she's a very hardworking lady. She does everything in spite of her painful hands. But the husband doesn't give her any respect nor money. She's always falling short of money. So, she tells me that though he earns so much, it is of no use to me. I asked her, why don't you get help? So he said, I can't afford now. My husband doesn't give me any money for myself. All the grocery comes from the grocer, fruits and vegetables are coming from the vendor. You understand now how they are coming. So I don't have any resources. I just carry on as I can. I stay at home and work my way out silently. I don't want him to be angry with me. So I asked her, what do you do if he is angry with you? So he says, oh, I don't do anything. I just collect myself and I keep quiet. So this is the gesture which she did. And she said, she spoke to me in Marathi, मी स्वतःला सावरते आणि बसते. So, very unique it was that I just collect myself and I sit. I said, no, what do you mean? What do you exactly mean by this? So then she went on telling me that if she says anything to the husband, how he will become violent, and so there will be so much of anger, and I do not want to trigger his anger at all. I do not want him to get angry or shout at me or to, make me feel vulnerable. I don't want to do that, and therefore I just keep quiet. I don't engage with it. So then I asked her about the further story goes on, and then I asked her about dreams. So very peculiar dreams, she said. She dreams of money. I said, what would you do if you have money? So then she tells me that if she has money, she will buy gold out of it. And you see, this buying gold, there is one remedy, I'm highlighting it now. There are only 3 remedies which are there in money. And that is Cypria eglantina, polyester, and Taxus baccata. But it was very interesting to see her intensity and her desire to have gold from the money which husband is not giving. So then mind, dreams, money, gold, Cypria eglantina. I had already come to a mollusk, and her whole gesture that whenever there is a danger, like her husband scolding is also a danger. So whenever there is a danger, she just collects herself and she sits till the time the danger passes. Very, very peculiar of the snail, cowrie. Yeah. Yes. So, when I could relate it with snail, and Cypria eglantina had also come in repertorization, the results were very, very evident. All her cracks and everything within 6 weeks. Yeah, within 6 weeks it subsided, and she had beautiful hands, soft hands in no time. And annually I call her once and ask her whether her cracks are returned, but it is not yet returned. So that beautiful was the thing. In this, the conflict was fear of being hurt. And why she is having psoriasis? Because she's not reacting to him, right? But there is a deep-seated fear of being hurt. There is a deadening sense, deadening the sense and the senses. So she doesn't want to come to senses, and there is refusal to accept responsibility for our own feelings. It could be feelings of fear, feelings of guilt, feelings of anger, feelings of hurt, feelings of insult, humiliation. It could be anything. But when there is a very strong refusal to accept responsibility, psoriasis comes up. Now, is it only the fear of being hurt? Like how this case is meek and all? Will the Can there be any other character who's feeling the same intensity of emotions? So yes, absolutely, there are other characters. Just to demonstrate the contrast, I'm sharing another case, the third case, wherein this is a case of a 40-year-old female, late pregnancy, late delivery, first child. And after the child is born, she developed extensive psoriasis. Most of it was palmoplantar, and there were some lesions on the knee also, but it was very, very bad psoriasis. So she said, the moment I asked her, every patient I asked this question as to what does this disease do to you? So then they will tell me, there is so much pain, there is cut, there are itching, this is happening, that is happening. I said, no, forget about that. You told me the symptoms already. It's not the symptoms. What I'm asking is, what does the disease mean to you in your life? What does it do to the person who's having this disease? And then they go quiet. Most of the times they'll typically what I've seen is, when I ask this question, people will just shift behind in their seat, and they'll go quiet, eyes will go down, and they'll start thinking, and slowly the answer will come. When that answer comes, my friends, that is a beautiful time for you to catch the exact conflict, because you've thrown them off guard. They cannot prepare for this answer, so they have to think in the moment, and whatever spontaneously comes to their mind, that is their conflict. So always focus on this, and this is my today's tip to you, that every time you ask them, it's fine, these are your symptoms, whatever has happened to you, these are the symptoms. Now tell me, you having this disease, what happens in your mind? Dil mein kya lag raha hai? Ask them and you will get the answer. So when I asked her this, that her baby is 6 months old, mind you, so she cannot hold her baby. So me being the prejudiced person, thinking that she might be talking about she's not able to hold her baby, or she's not able to do all those things for her baby. That could be the thing. But her answer comes. She says, I can't go out, no. I have no fun in life. See, I have a lot of boyfriends. And I'm like, there are very few things which surprise me, because I practice very close to the film city. So there are different variety of people who come to me for treatment. So, but then this was very new to me. She said, I have many boyfriends. You see, my husband is very dull. He doesn't like dancing. He doesn't like drinking. So I have different friends for different needs. And there's nothing sexual about it. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I don't go fool around with other people. But I have boyfriends and I'm emotionally involved with them. Nothing physical, but emotionally, yes. There are different boys for different things. So she loves to party all night. She loves to getting drunk. She loves smoking. She loves to go clubbing, dancing, and husband doesn't even eat pan, she says. So that's a big pain for her, that he doesn't do anything. But I love to do. I want to do my. I have to have my life, and that's the reason why there is late pregnancy. Husband is probably not aware about all her boyfriends, but he is aware that there are a few. There are like one or two friends with whom she goes, but he's probably not aware that there could be boyfriends in dozens. So where is the conflict now? Why is this lady having psoriasis? So her conflict was because she was torn between responsibilities of being a mother and responsibility towards her own self of enjoyment. She wanted to enjoy, have fun, and just freak out and forget about life. But she also had this baby now. She doesn't want to sit at home nursing the child all the time. But because she is a Koknasta Brahmin, so her upbringing has been this, that you'd never shun away from responsibility. So, childhood upbringing and this desire to have fun and move out. So the duality. There's a conflict. Continuously, she's whether I should do this or I should do that. Not able to do both. Therefore, there is so much of anger, frustration, and everything is getting suppressed. And that's why psoriasis. So, very prominent in her was, this is the result. Like the extent of her hands were so bad. And this is again 6 to 8 weeks ka result, wherein there was, because the itching and everything was so much, her hands also looked swollen. But once the disease subsided, everything became all right. She started losing weight also. This was her knee. This was her soul, her soles. Yeah. The prominent thing in this case for me was amusement desire for so much, majja, only life meaning majja. She doesn't want to take any responsibility. She just wants to freak out. So I could have taken amusement desire for, and in complete repertory, there are 15 symptoms. In Murphy, there are only 4 remedies, 15 remedies and 4 remedies. But I wanted to go to Kent, because Kent does not have elaborate list of new remedies or, new interpretations. It just has exactly from Materia Medica, because I thought if this is so prominent, I want to go to the best possible, purest form of this symptom. So Kent had only 2 remedies, Lachesis and Piper M. Now, Piper M feels everything is dull and is wanting to do something exciting, and it's just one time zing, that kind of thing. They want zing in life, like how the amount of pepper which you require to spice up your food is very less. Amusement in Piper M would be like that. They will require little at regular intervals, not continuously. Another aspect in this case was that the duality. One side, she also had moral upbringing and she was carrying that kind of value system. Other side, she wanted to freak out completely, which is not, and it was very convenient way of saying that I have boyfriends for different reasons. So, the duality in her was very, very peculiar, which was snake kind of personality. At her home, she was a very different person. When she was in clubs and all, she was a very different person. And that conflict of managing these 2 personalities, that is what exactly is lachesis. That they will have some, kind of higher intellect, but primitive desires. So that is where lachesis came into picture. Now I want to contrast these 2 cases of psoriasis. The first lady had very, very minimal expectation. This lady had different expectations from life. And these 2 are completely different conflicts. The other one had only fear of being hurt. And that hurt is so painful to her that she developed psoriasis. She cannot keep it inside, and that's why she started eating her own cells. This lady, the conflict is with self only. Whether I should do this or whether I should do that. That is the conflict. You see how contrasting 2 conflicts, but same disease, same expression. If you see both hands, you can see at some point they're similar. So even if same disease, same presentation, conflict can be different. And it is a homeopath's responsibility to dig out that conflict, to reach to the source of the, source would be a wrong word, root cause of the illness, and then take it forward and see to it that you are able to reverse the entire conflict forming. Not only you solve this particular illness, but you make a difference to the patient's life. You help them understand their own pattern. When you are able to do that, then you can bring about a transformation. And I strongly believe that as a homeopath, That's my job, to bring about transformation. And that's why Dr. Shobha has said that my clinic name is Happiness Homeopathy Clinic. I have recently changed it to Happiness Holistic Clinic. I feel everybody should have holistic approach in their treatment, no matter what is the disease. But the moment you find out the right minimum, you find the psychodynamics, you can bring about transformation. Having said that, let's go to another. Okay, fine. So this particular case, I had given her lachesis 1M straight away because the kind of intensity which this lady had required that kind of potency. Yeah. So lachesis 1M BD for 2 days. It was repeated almost weekly, and she needed treatment and counseling for more than a year. Okay. Now going to the fourth case. So far, so good. Can I get some thumbs up in the, can I get some thumbs ups in the chat box? Okay, why lachesis? There are actually a lot of symptoms, Nisha. I'm trying to present it in as concise manner as I can, because I want to stay within time, and we have only 20 more minutes. Okay, so why lachesis? Let me just go to her conflicts. Yeah. So you see, her conflict is responsibility of being a mother and her own self-enjoyment. Now, you see, snakes are the ones who have no qualms in eating their own eggs also. Most of the snake mothers, when they lay eggs, they straight away leave from there and move away, because they cannot control the urge to eat those eggs. That is the kind of intensity a snakes can have. So this girl, whose childhood upbringing has been of a moral value system and everything, so she's an intelligent lady, right? She understands what values mean to her in life. So she wants to take it forward completely in her own stride, but at the same time, she does not want to lose her own personality. So that is why she's torn between these responsibilities. So snakes per se, there is only one snake who tends to the young ones, and that is Crotalus cascavella. All snakes can literally eat their own eggs. So when this lady, you see, her ailment factor is postpartum. So from the time she delivered this child, she realized, now no majja, everything is over. My life is kind of over. So I have to stay here now. I'm stuck. So that's where the conflict started. She was thinking during the pregnancy that once pregnancy is done, once the baby is out, then I'm free. My mother is going to take care of the baby. I'm all free. But that is not what happened. She had to nurse the child. There were times when the child was unwell, and she realized that it's a big full-time job now. So I have to stay home. I can't freak out. I can't sneak out at night. And as I was fooling my husband, I couldn't fool this 6-month-old baby. That's where her conflict began. Okay, so that's where the duality came into picture, and two different personalities, the fight between two aspects of her personality. That's where the entry of lachesis came. And then I took only one rubric, as I have shown already, amusement desire for, and I went to Kent repertory, which is the purest form, I feel. So, which comes directly from Materia Medica. So, lachesis and piperem, there were two remedies only. Okay. Fantastic. Any other thing? Duality, conflict of values. All right. I think Dr. Shobha will take care of the chat box now. If there is anything, you can always raise your hand and then I can look into it. But let us go further. Yeah, we have 15 minutes left now. All right. So I hope Lachesis is clear. If you need further things, I can always update it in the Telegram group. Going to the fourth case now. Okay. So this was a 54-year-old Jain lady married to a Bhori Muslim. Actually, he was her neighbor and they knew each other from childhood. Okay. She presented with complaints of blisters on the buttocks area and the entire pelvic area since 8 months. Now, the entire family never believed in homeopathy. She would always go on taking allopathic medication. So she was treated with antibiotics and antifungal 4 to 5 times in last 8 months, but nothing happened. She couldn't sit or stand. Still, she's an optometrist. She went to her shop every single day, in spite of inability to sit or stand. She bore the pain silently and she still went on doing her work. Last 6 months, she also had amenorrhea. There was no periods. She was on antidepressive pills since 8 years and she was on antihypertensive pills. Two of them, two different combinations. One was 100 milligram, another one was 50 milligram. Now, I explored her personality into details, and she's a silent worker. She takes wholehearted responsibility. She doesn't talk about her complaints to anyone. Always she'll be smiling. You will never feel that she's having so much of pain that, there are so many blisters, there is itching, there is burning, there are a lot of discomfort she's into, but she will be smiling. She's very, very responsibility conscious, extremely attached to her family members. Both sides, she's been adored by everyone. On her mother's side, after her marriage, there were some difficulties initially, but because even mother's side knew the boy since his childhood, they were okay with her. Okay. Now, the patient lost her parents quite early, so she was only attached to her older sister, and she looked up to her as if she's her mother. She was also attached to husband's younger sister and looked after her as if she's her daughter. So, you can see the whole family dynamics is very cozy kind of dynamics. They always together. Biggest shock of her life, 2020 September, sister walks to the hospital with mild fever and comes back in a plastic bag. It was a COVID death. 2020 October, just a month later, the younger one, sister-in-law, she goes to the hospital for some other checkup. They ask her to admit and she comes back in a casket. She has a heart attack. Two prominent, strengths of this lady are gone in a month's time. The elder sister, she cannot live without. She's just in a shock. She's not able to cope up with it, but she says, now I have to look after her children. I cannot do anything. I cannot sit and cry. So she starts looking after her sister's kids very vigilantly. She's going there, cooking, coming back, doing her shop thing and everything. Now the sister-in-law passes away. Now her family, sister-in-law's family is very, very orthodox Muslim. So they follow a lot of traditions which this girl doesn't understand, this lady doesn't understand. Though she's been married in a Bohri Muslim family, but her family is very open. They allowed her to continue her Jainism. Now she wants to look after sister-in-law's daughters also, but she doesn't know because maybe her ways would be different. And what if sister-in-law's family doesn't like it? But in all of this, you see, her grief is suppressed, immensely suppressed. She's feeling lonely, but she cannot express her grief. There is a shock and there is an intense sense of responsibility. She feels now I must take full responsibility of these both families, and I also have responsibility of my own family. In all of that, then her you know blisters had already started. They got aggravated further. Then came her amenorrhea. After sister-in-law passed away, she was trying to cope for a month, and then amenorrhea started. So I guess remedy is very clear: suppressed grief, ailments from shock, highly responsible lady, ignitia vanem. I started that remedy. But you see, it is very important for us to identify and diagnose what is the entity. Because allopaths are treating with antibiotics and with some steroid cream also were given. Some steroid was given to, orally, and antifungal is also given. So they're not very clear as to what is the disease. So I go deeper into digging out what the disease is, and it's a very rare disease, dermatitis herpetiformis. It is an autoimmune skin condition that targets those with celiac disease. Now, there were no symptoms of celiac disease in her case, but she did have hives right from a very young age, but she always ignored them. So there were itchy blisters, and usually the area is individual's back or buttocks. In this case, it was buttocks. So she used to send me these kind of pictures, this side before pictures, and this is much later state actually. She was not ready to send me pictures, and this is online consultation, mind you, 2021. So very difficult for me to get an accurate picture, but she kept on sending me these pictures when the blisters started reducing. When they were big ones, she would not send me pictures. After treatment, you can see how nicely the lesions have healed. Now, what does blister mean? Blister means resistance. And blister also means lack of emotional protection. You see how beautifully this patient was feeling cozy with her elder sister, and with the younger one, she was feeling she is the one who's giving protection. Buttocks means power. So there is a loss of power now because I have lost my strength. Two my strong pillars have gone. I have lost my strength and I need emotional protection. I lack it in this moment, and that's why blisters. So when you understand the psychodynamics of it, you can give them inputs into their life. You can give them things to introspect into their life. And that can help you uh, remove that block. And at least there will be registration that I am having this pattern. And this pattern is responsible for bringing about some disease. She changed quite a bit after this treatment. There were a lot of other power struggles with her mother-in-law, which she had experienced, which had put her into depression and all. But in 1 year of our treatment, her antidepressives have been completely stopped. She is on a single remedy, teneclor 25 currently. Her hypertension has become much, much better. Earlier, she used to go in 150 by 100 in spite of taking 2 molecules. But now she's on a very simple teneclor 25. That too, she becomes anxious that what if, my BP goes haywire and I also have a heart attack. So that is a fear. Just to nurture, like protect her fear, I have allowed her to keep be on teneclor 25. Very slowly, we will stop that also. And Dr. Harish Shetty has actually appreciated that This lady became much better. In 8 years, he's never seen improvement. Now that improvement has come because she started communicating. She started sharing her feelings. She started becoming open with her family. And that only could come when her own psyche was explained to her, when her conflict was, put across to her, asked her to accept it, and then she could change for good. Now, this is a case of atopic dermatitis. I don't know whether you can appreciate the difference, but this is a dark lady. You can see there is this darkness, extra darkness on her neck. So this part, basically, there was a lot of itching. So all around her neck, this lady was having uncontrollable itching. She did have atopic dermatitis for many, many years actually, but it was never this intense. It had suddenly come up after her father passed away. And she felt so much helpless, and as if now there is nothing more in life. And she wanted to hold on to somebody with strength. She couldn't. There was so much anger. This is a Marwadi lady. First divorce. Within 8 months of marriage, her father said, all right, don't worry, I will manage. I will look after you. So you come back home. Whatever conflict little bit she had, she said, it was a long time ago because it was 20 years, 25 years ago. I don't remember it now. She left that home. She came to her father because father was there. He was the one who was protecting her. Then after a year's gap, father gets her married to a first timer, like not a person who's remarrying, but first timer. And that guy is good. Few days, it goes well. They have a son. And after that, the marriage starts becoming a violent, turbulent marriage. There's a lot of violence, hitting, abusive language, and suspicion, whatnot. This lady, every single time she comes back to father, father comes to her house, and father is her strength. She also had lot of desires, like she likes to dance, she likes to go to parties, she likes to dress up, she likes to do so many things, excursions, adventure sports, whatnot, everything she would want to do. But she doesn't want to remain in control. Her whole point was, I do not want to be controlled. I do not want to be told what to do. I will do everything what I feel is right. I will not give in to your controls. And that was her conflict all the time. She always had this support from father, and that's why she was standing very strong, never had so much aggravation. She's a dark-skinned lady, actually. If you see in person, it becomes difficult to show it on the photo, but there was a lot of darkness around her skin, and there was scratch marks and all. Okay. So what is allergy and hay fever? When you are allergic to someone who denies your power, or even you yourself deny your own power, that is the time allergy comes. And they are irritated in life. So this patient had a conflict of freedom versus domination. And when she lost her father, she felt, now everybody will dominate me. I will not get to do what I want. Again, there were so many symptoms. I had given her Lachesis 1M straight. There were a lot of peculiar symptoms. Amusement desire for was again one of the very prominent feature, and her aggressive behavior, snapping, uh, not giving a damn about the world, and a lot of arrogance, lot of anger, and you know, no care in the world. She was good at her work, she was intelligent, but she would not care about what you feel. She would, if she feels hurt, she will give it back. So that was tit for tat kind of a behavior. I gave her lachesis within a week. You can see this picture was within a week. And there were further atopic dermatitis, further patches were there, more of them, elbows and all. We started treating and it all eventually got better. But you see, the conflict here was also very, very important, that you are denying the power either in yourself or the surrounding. You do not want to get controlled by other people. If you are controlled, if you are put in a situation. Yeah, one more thing, what happened in this this lady's case was, the moment her father passed away, her brother took over entire handling of the family. It's a natural progression. Generally, that is what happens. But in this case, even before the third day, brother started calling shots, and he said, "Mom, I think you should shift from the master bedroom now. I will shift there," and things like that happened. And she suddenly felt, "Oh my God, now I have no freedom, and my brother is going to dominate me." She had taken second divorce already because her father had, she had a backup from her father. Okay, so Lachesis helped her. All right, now. Um, what is exactly autoimmune diseases? There are so many other cases. There is a very beautiful case of pemphigus, which I have treated with hydrastis, which I will share maybe some other time. But let us just concentrate on what exactly is autoimmune disease. So for me, it is a battle in the mind. It is always you versus you. Your own T cells start attacking your own body. General knowledge, right? But why is this happening? Why our own mind becomes anti us? Why is this happening? Why are we, why the cells are attacking? Why the battle? Well, if we have to understand, we must understand what is the objective of the case receiving. Case receiving objective is always going to be what to cure in the case. What is curative? What we can cure? What are patient's issues? What are patient's strengths? And what is patient's gain in having this pain? Very, very important. If we understand all of these, then the answer to why autoimmune will become clear. Again, definitely the objective is always going to be according to aphorism number 1, which is physician's high and only mission is to restore sick to health, to cure, as it is termed. The process in finding out the autoimmune disorder is also very easy. Initially, you simply receive, you understand what the disease is, you understand the person. When you come to a certain understanding, you go on exploring things, but you initially simply receive, then you explore, and then you directly ask confirmatory symptoms that will bring you to a remedy. Now, what are do's and don'ts if you have to go to a conflict? Do's is always allow free expression. Observe the facial expressions more. Listen, and listen not only with your ear, listen with your eyes also. Listen with your entire body. You have to make the patient feel completely free and relaxed in such a way that they, the information flows. Yeah, just be unprejudiced. Don'ts may definitely no interruptions. Either or questionings you should never ask. This happened or that happened. No, give open-ended questions and do not come to premature conclusions. Like, the conflicts which I've shared in psoriasis today, do not come to those conclusions in every case. I can give you 10 different psoriasis cases with 10 different conflicts. So everything is going to be individualistic. So don't judge prematurely and don't decide for yourself prematurely. Okay. For effective management of autoimmune disorders, first and foremost, what you must understand is the diagnosis, like how that case of dermatitis herpetiformis. If I would have not reached that diagnosis, I would not have. So it's a gluten sensitive celiac disease, right? So I asked her to stop wheat altogether. No matter my remedy was correct and my remedy worked very hard, but if I would have allowed her to continue to eat wheat, she would have never recovered. So gluten had to be stopped. So your diagnosis has to be strong, no matter what the uh, physician or the allopath or dermatologist give you a prescription. You make your own diagnosis. You reach to the core of the disease, understand it into details, and then only form your diagnosis. So your diagnosis has to be correct. Your simillimum has to be correct. Repertorization has to be in order. And with that, your psychodynamics has to be strong. You must know if, for example, this lady presented with blisters, and blisters has a psychodynamics of lacking protection. So then I will ask her questions with regards to that. If I don't know that, then I will not ask, right? So you prepare your own background, your own homework also with psychodynamics. And then when you put all these three together, then your remedy selections will be better. Okay. So, this question, I want to answer this why, which we had come to autoimmune diseases. So you see, every thought that enters your mind makes its home in the body somewhere. That thought is stored in individual cells, and those cells will be acting against you. So if there is any foreign particle which is entering the body, how does the body react? It wants to get it out all the time. No foreign particles are preserved by body. Whatever is foreign, I just want to throw it out. That's the language of body, right? So whenever a thought which gets generated, wherein there is a dissociation from the concept of you, when I dissociate myself from the ugliness, ugliness could be physical, ugliness could be mental. If I am thinking that my this particular nature is not good for me and this is not me, if I get angry and I tell myself at the same time, I don't like this is not who I am not the person who gets angry. If I disagree with my own qualities, that is where the dissociation begins. More the dissociation, more the frustration, because whatever you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, it's you. And if I do not accept myself as a whole, there's a bigger dissociation from the concept of self. The more of these thoughts of dissociation, these emotions, these frequencies are stored in the cells, the body starts dissociating from that cell as its own. And therefore, the T cells start attacking it. That particular cell with that memory of, rejection of your own self becomes something which is foreign. It's not mine anymore. And therefore, I will attack it. So in all autoimmune diseases, my earnest request to you is explore the concept of self of that person. What is the identity this person is forming about himself? The moment you understand the concept of self, you understand the patterns. You need not be a counselor every single time, but you can make them aware. And the exploration itself is the start of therapeutic, it's therapy in itself. but you have to be aware for that first. So my friends, as much as you know yourself, you will be able to help that patient. Because the more you know, the more you accept yourself, your conviction in this concept will become clearer, and you will be able to reflect it out in the way you treat your patients. So forget dermatological, but any autoimmune disorders, if you have to succeed into, you have to explore the concept of self. The entire fight of that individual is happening at that level. With that, it's it's 8:20, and I think we have covered most of the things. Thank you so much. I'm free to take questions now.
Wonderful, wonderful session, Dr. Vrushali. It is just wonderful. So many cases, and the way you have correlated it with the psychodynamics. You have described and differentiated the psychodynamics of each and every individual patient and each and individual case. Meaning it is about the true individualization of the homeopathy. That is what it is. It was wonderful, awesome. Vrushali, someone, can you share your this one slide? Someone wanted one PPT, one slide of your this thing, one which was before that do's and don'ts. I think
Do's and
just
don'ts.
for a minute you do that.
Yes.
After that, yeah, the
Yeah,
process.
this one.
The previous one. Previous, yes, no. Okay, then
This side.
I think so. Yeah, go to the next one.
This is aphorism number 1.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Vrushali. Thank you so much. I think there are some questions which are coming up now.
Mm-hmm.
One is about what is the psychodynamics of tinea versicolor.
Tinea versicularis. I'll have to look it up, but in my experience, suppressed anger is something which is the first thing which I explore personally. There's a lot of anger and dislike towards self. That is basic of tinea versicularis.
Okay. Any precautions in such cases as patient ask about soap, ointment, etc.?
Ointments, yeah, you can actually give them ointments. Homeopathic, very good ointments will be there. Like, you see symptom similarity. If you see the blister case, I did give her graphitis locally to apply, because when people have been to so many allopaths and they've taken so many treatments, they would want कि कुछ लगाया नहीं तो कैसे ठीक होगा. I definitely want something. So you can give them once a day. You are sure that the local application is not going to help, but they will feel that this is a holistic treatment. She's given me medicine to eat also, she's given me medicine to apply also, she's talking about my mind also, everything all together. It becomes a good package for you in your practice to implement. So if there is symptom similarity, those ointments of single remedy are available. Why not? I would not refrain from using them.
So the case in which you used graphitis, were you giving graphitis even orally?
No, orally it was not given. It was given to her in later stages. Initially, I definitely gave her this one, Ignitia only. But after I started her treatment in the month of March, okay, March or April, and it was very hot at that point of time. So, and she has to stand in the shop full day. So she would have lot of itching. She said, instantly to soothe something, give me something at least. What can I apply? So rather than them going to apply some other like Candid or things like that which are across the counter available, rather than them applying that, You might as well think of what remedy can be locally similar, and you give that remedy ointment. So in the later months, like second or third month of treatment, I started giving her graphitis to apply whenever she's very much heated and too much of itching is there, just to soothe in that moment, not every day.
Okay, but that too again you gave on the basis of some indications which were there.
Yes, because the blisters were oozing, and it was typical graphitis presentation. Orally, graphitis was never given to her.
Because somebody is also asking that is local application are good in homeopathy, but in aphorism there are different contradictions which are there, like meaning.
There will be definitely there will be contradictions, but as a clinician, you have to take decisions in the moment. You have to see how much your deeper acting remedy is going to give an impact, and how much is the local remedy going to help you. If it is going to alleviate anxiety of the patient, why not? I'm all in for it.
Okay. Yeah, Dr. Vrushali, lot of people are asking from where to read about the psychodynamics. Please share any name of the book or any website, or please guide them.
It's a very lovely question, and I give accolades to all those people who really want to read this. But friends, there is unfortunate part is there is not a single book, one book which I can tell you. However, basically to start with, Louis Hay would be great. You can always start with Power of Healing and by Louis Hay, and from there you can go on building your own quotient. As you understand mind more and more, you will be able to relate each person's conflict differently. So another book which I would highly recommend is Developmental Psychology by Elizabeth Hurlock, wherein she talks about defense mechanisms, about growth, about each and every concept of psychological development, which can tell you so many things about the human mind.
Can you repeat the name? Elizabeth
Hurlock.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And there are other questions. There is one question is, I think Dr. Rama had asked, in your, I think, first or second case, that why not subclass 5? Where there is, what is the duality conflict of values?
I am so sorry, Dr. Rama. I do not understand subclass 5. I think I should join ma'am's class for that. I don't understand it. And this is a very old case. You can see 2016. At that point of time, I think I was also quite young in practice, you should say. I didn't have that kind of exposure then.
What I felt in that case is, Vrushali, I think you had prescribed lecases. So your first differentiation would come at the level of the plant and the animal kingdom itself, because when you are seeing the animal qualities into that patient, the remedy that you would prefer is from the animal kingdom rather than from the plant kingdom.
Yes,
so
yes,
that
is always there.
Yeah, that was one thing which was coming to me when I was reading Dr. Rama's question.
Thank you.
And okay, Dr. Praveen sir is saying that I would think Natramure in your Ignatia case.
Maybe, once her shock and everything settles, maybe I would be open for Natramure state. If it comes up, I would give it. Which we have seen initially.
Ma'am, you're
on mute.
Can you please unmute? Please unmute.
In that case, really the shock was so great, and Ignatia with it in being in the cancer miasm and with her other traits which fitted the cancer miasm, I think Ignatia was the right remedy and is going to cover everything. I do not think Natramure will be required in that particular case.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. When do you use LM potency?
Good question. I use LM potency in cases like lichen planus, wherein I have to give a daily repetition. None of the cases I shared today, because most of the cases are, pre-COVID. So That time I was not using LM potency so much. Now I have started using quite often. Even in cases of hypertension, I give them daily doses. There also LM potencies are used. And in cases like lichen planus and some of the psoriasis cases also, I have started using it now. But having previous experience, when your remedy is correct, few doses are also enough.
No, but
You don't,
where the remedy is clear and the already your results are there, there's no need to use.
no need to.
No need
Correct.
to much.
Correct. I
Correct.
agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Liaquat Namole sir is saying that he will think of Aurommune Natronatum in your Ignatia case.
Thank you,
And
sir.
we can always think of many things. We have to
Yes.
differentiate. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Also, one more question is, can you give some information about SLE treatment?
SLE. Yeah. So I have treated one SLE case, one in this entire practice, and that girl is doing pretty well. So the whole process remains same. You understand the disease, you understand the patient, you come to the simillimum, you find your conflict, and that's about it. That is same. That girl, she is 30 years old. She has delivered her baby daughter last year, and she's doing pretty well. No joint pains, nothing. Her values are also remaining under check, and she's doing pretty well actually. Remedy also, I'll tell you, silica is given. She's the third girl child in a Marwadi family, overtly responsible, want to do everything right, perfect kind of a girl. And she's fair, okay, but her elder sisters are white. So you can imagine, in a Marwadi family, little dull color, what kind of a reaction she must have received. So she wants to put up everywhere. She wants to put up a good image and good girl kind of a person. So silica has worked pretty well for her. I have given LM potencies to her. Yeah.
Okay. And are you using biochemical combinations in such cases?
I don't use biochemical combinations at all. I don't understand them. If someone can teach me, I'm open to learning it from you.
Okay. What can we do in vitiligo cases which are difficult to treat?
Very difficult to treat. Actually, vitiligo cases are difficult to treat, and well, the process remains same. What more can you do? Process is always same, and there are some cases like long time ago, I did treat one case which had complete resolution in that girl. Still, 27 years ago, when I was in my first year or second BHMS, that time I had treated her, and from that time till now there is no recurrence. But most of the vitiligo cases, there is recurrence. How much ever we say we are treating it, it resolves to a certain extent, but I have my own doubts.
Okay.
Depends on the
Yes,
spread.
Dr. Vrushali.
Depends on the spread and how much it is and the period you've had it.
Yeah,
We've had, and then you do require weekly doses or more, much more, depends on this. And some of them resolve and some don't. You can't give guarantee. That is
we
definitely.
we can't give guarantee, and some of them resolve, and then something small happens in the life, and then it again comes back.
That is true for
So
any condition. If something happens in life, something the same thing comes back. That's fine. But some cases do resolve, and some people claim a lot of results, but we don't know.
yeah,
Okay, I
In
think
infants, and just the last one or two questions. In infants and child, the history of self is not possible. So what do you advise?
in cases of infants,
Infants and children.
yeah. So we do a detailed mother's history. I even go to the extent of understanding the father and understanding dynamics of the entire family. So because these imprints are coming from the family only. So even if it is an infant, atopic dermatitis typically has a lot of infants will come to you with atopic dermatitis. So I always go to mother's history during pregnancy and her relationship with the father of the child, and exactly how things are transpiring. Most of the times, mother's relationship with mother-in-law, that is also very, very crucial. So I go into details of the IPRs of mother during pregnancy and just before pregnancy also.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful question answer sessions, Dr. Vrushali. I think there is one thing somebody is asking, how can they join our Telegram group? Yeah, friends, you can contact. I have already given Dr. Munira's number. You can contact Dr. Munira, who is the manager of Engage. You can contact any of the EB members of Engage, and we will add you into the Telegram group. Okay.
I can add something. If you become a life member of NGH, we will automatically add you. So it would be a good opportunity for you to become a life member.
Yes, yes, very true, very true.
And
Also,
at a discounted rate, that also.
yeah, yeah, discounted rate
Because we
right
have
now,
very
right?
big donations. Yeah.
So, I want to thank Vishpala ma'am today that she kind of forced me to take this webinar, and I'm so happy. I'm actually elated that I shared all these cases, and sometimes, you really require your mentor to push you to the edge. So, ma'am, I thank you so much. Otherwise, I would have never searched these cases and I would have never shared so much. So, I'm very happy today. Thank you.
We are
Yeah,
also very happy. Thank you, Vrushali.
yes, we are also very happy.
And the audience is also very happy from the
Yeah,
interaction. That is quite great. So I
yes,
think we've had a very good session, and we hope all of you will continue to be with us all throughout. Yes.
yes, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Vrushali. Thank you, Shobha.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Vishpala, ma'am. Thank you, Vrushali. Only one thing I think Dr. Kalpita has given about those psychodynamic books, which I would just say he has written in the chat is, but also the healing power of illness by Thorwald Detherson.
Oh,
So this also can help because a lot of people had asked about this question. Okay.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Vrushali. Thank you, ma'am. Anybody, if has any other questions, you can put it down in the Telegram group, and Dr.
Or
Vrushali
become a
will.
life member.
Yeah, yeah,
We have to
definitely.
bully you. I bully everybody. If I bully Vrushali, I can bully all of you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Dr. Vrushali will answer them in the Telegram group. Okay. So thank you, all of you. Have a wonderful week ahead. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much,
Months
everyone.
ahead
Right.
because we have Diwali and many
Yeah.
festivals coming.
Yeah. Wonderful Diwali vacation. Yeah. Diwali celebrations. Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Why we
Thank you.
postponed our CME, which will start from November. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, our roundtable is pushed to the next week.
Yeah.
We are not having it on the fourth Saturday. We will have it on the fifth Saturday. So do join us
So
for
not
roundtable as well.
that will not be on the 22nd of the October. It will be on the 29th of October. Yeah,
Actually, we
please
have
note
5
that.
weeks, so yeah.
Yeah, so it will be on the 29th October, and so that we are giving you time to celebrate Diwali with your family.
Thank you. Or whoever else
Okay.
you want to celebrate.
Yes, 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 ma'am.
Vrushali's cases.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay.
Good
Thank
night.
you
Thank
all.
you.
Bye.
Good night.
Wonderful, Brushali. Wonderful. There are a lot of
Thank you, sir.
appreciations in the chat. If you read, people have loved it. And a lot of compliments. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night.